Welcome to another video from the 90-day challenge. What I want to do in this video is show you how you can use Odesk. I know a few of you have asked about how you can outsource some of this work, and we've talked about Fiverr in the context of this experiment we're doing here, the 90-day challenge. But what I want to show you now is how you can use Odesk. Now, Odesk is a large site full of contractors. You get contractors doing everything. Now they'll do everything from write your articles to build links to, you know, program your database, a plugin, you name it. There's somebody here that can do it. And it's not all about internet marketing. Odesk is the kind of site that large corporations use to hire short-term people. So, you know, if I was IBM or something like that, I might hire somebody from here to do a short-term piece of work. So there's everything on here in just about every single category you can imagine. You'll be quite surprised when you realise just how much you can do here. Now, the thing is a lot of the more simple jobs, like the link building jobs and things like that, that anyone without any skills can do, you're going to find an awful lot of people applying. Now, most of these, and no offence to anyone on here, of course, most of them aren't going to be particularly good for what you need. So you've got to be able to filter them out, and what I want to show you is how you can really filter out a lot of the applications that you're going to want to ignore, and you'll be able to filter them out very easily, and it's going to speed up a lot of time, because I guarantee you put a job on here saying you want somebody to build links manually for you, and you will get 200 to 300 applications. You'll get 100 applications in the first 24 hours, and you don't want to have to sort through every single one. Now, quick look at the profiles. You can see here, this tells you some of the areas you can hire people: bookkeeping, public relations, graphics, networking skills, software development, web development, blah, 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 blah. Absolutely everything. But before you go, I can't use Odesk, it's, you know, all people in the Far East and Asia. It's not. It's people all over the world. There's people from the United States, Great Britain, France, Germany, Russia, the Philippines, India, Bangladesh, and so on. And if you take your time and pick the right person, and you follow through what I'm going to show you here, then you're going to be able to find someone that you can really work with. Now, before you start looking for a contractor here, you need to know what you want to do with them. Because, frankly, there's no point in hiring somebody and then they're going, right, what do you want me to do? And you go, well, I don't know, really. Because, of course, that's wasting your time and theirs. They're there to get a job and to earn money. And they want it to feed their family, keep a roof over their heads, whatever it might be. And by you saying, well, I'm not quite ready yet, you know, sit around, I'm not going to pay you yet because I'm not ready, you're not doing them a good service, you're going to get a bad reputation, people won't work for you. So it's very simple, that's how it's going to work. So what you need to do is you need to make sure that you know what you're going to do. And you've also got to give them instructions. You can't just turn around to them and go, I want you to build links. That's way too vague. You've got to be very precise. Now, the way I've worked this in the past is I've recorded videos training people to do things like how to set up a Squidoo lens, how to submit an article to e-zine articles, how to whatever it might be. You know, all of these I've recorded videos, or I've written processes. So I've written out a document saying, right, you are, let me think, you're submitting an article to e-zine articles. These are the steps. This is what you've got to do. You know, I want you to find me some blogs to do some blog commenting. This is what I want you to do. This is exactly how to do it. So that's what I've got to do. But of course, if you're going to get people to leave links on your site for you and, you know, build links and do something like blog commenting, you've got to make sure they can write decent quality English. If they are unable to write you good quality English, like you saw in one of the posts I made on the 90-day challenge site, you'll see that you're going to have spam comments. They're not going to get approved, and of course that's a waste of your money because you're not getting what you paid for. So what you might want to do is provide them with example comments. If I'm going to get them to submit articles and they're not an article writer, I want to provide them with the articles. Now, obviously, this means you've got to get some management in place. You've got to make sure that they have the articles, videos, press releases, whatever it might be, when you are ready for them to have it. So you've got to make sure that you're prepared. You've got to have documentation to give them, because you cannot just say to them, go and leave comments on blogs. They need more information than that to do it right. Otherwise, you're going to have a terrible, terrible working relationship. You've got to remember, these are real people. These are people that are out there. They are trying to make a living from the internet as well. And, you know, they're going to do the best they can for you. In most cases, there are obviously those that are not going to, but in most cases, they will do the best they can for you. So you have to look after them and give them good instructions. It's a real case of garbage in, garbage out. You give them poor quality instructions, you're going to get poor quality results. And you want to maximize the return on your investment. Now, you can expect in the first week or two, they will be slower. So, you know, it might take you 10 minutes to set up a Squidoo lens, but if they've not done it before, it's likely to take them a bit longer. And you have to factor that into your calculations. You have to factor in the fact that obviously English is probably going to be a second language for them. So when you give instructions, make sure they're in simple, clear English, and make sure that you're available on Skype or you respond quickly to comments from them. If they're going to send you a message saying, how do I do this? And you take 2 days to reply, that's 2 days wasted time. So just make sure you do that. Now, finding somebody on here, you'll get people bidding anything from, you know, $1 an hour up to $20, $30 an hour. I hired a VA on here, and he was doing 40 hours a week for me. You'll get people working anywhere from a few hours up to sort of 40 to 70 hours a week. There's people willing to do that. And I hired him for $1.11 an hour, which in his country I did check was a good salary. But what I did is at the end of every month I gave him a bonus for good work. So, you know, I like to look after the people I work for me. At the end of the day, he's building my business for me. So I don't want to sort of, you know, have him working in a sweatshop and, you know, spend 2-3 months training him up. And then at the end of the time he goes, right, see you later. I'm off. I found someone that'll pay me more. You know, my goal was the first few months he got paid a sort of $1.11. And then I sort of increased his pay as he developed his skills. And like I said, I gave him bonuses. And that just helped keep him sweet. He kept working for me. And in the end, I changed business strategy somewhat, and we parted company because I didn't have need for a link builder at that time. So, you know, you can find some great people out there, but you've got to know how you're looking for them. So the way you do this is you post a job. You sign up, it's free to sign up. Before you can post a job, you will have to enter your billing information. And I do believe if you're outside of Odesk, it appears you can't pay by PayPal. But once you're in here and you enter your billing information, you will find that you can pay by PayPal, which is obviously very important for some of us. It's a lot easier to pay for. Okay, so here's how you post a job. You've got to pick a category. Now, what do I want? I think it's administrative support. No, I don't want that. Sometimes it takes me a little bit to find what I'm after. Business services, is that the one? Nope. I'll be in here somewhere. Networking, no. Customer service, sales and marketing, I think it's in there. There you are. That's what I want. I want somebody to do one of these jobs for me. So I'm after search engine optimization. There you are. Then you put your job title in there. And this has got to be, again, this is going to grab people's attention. And you've got to think that with the job title, the description, and the skills required, you're filtering out a lot of people. Now, admittedly, there's quite a few that are going to apply anyway, but you will see that you can filter some out. So job title would be manual link full-time job, full-time, let's just write it properly, position, manual link builder. Okay, so that tells people what you want. You have someone that's full-time, you might be part-time, in which case you might say 30 hours a week or 20 hours a week or whatever you want. Remember that you've got to be able to afford this. You are billed on a weekly basis by Odesk. So I'll explain more about that in a minute, but you get billed every week. So make sure that if you're paying them for 40 hours and you want to hire someone at $2 an hour, that means you've got to have at least $80 a week available to pay for it. So just think about that when you're calculating this, because a lot of people get caught out and they're starting to think, I can't pay for this. Now, in the description you've got to tell them exactly what you expect them to do, but you want to filter people out. So I always start with something. I'm just going to type it in and then I'll come back to you. Okay, now this is how you filter out 99% of the junk. What happens here with Odesk is a lot of people they hire agencies to apply on their behalf, or they just literally go through, they see link builder and they go spam, 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 and they basically, you get a copy and paste response. You will notice this as you go through some of your job applications. A lot of them, literally sort of 80-90% of them, will be literally copy and paste, and they won't have anything about what you want from somebody. So what I do is I put something like this in. It says, please ensure that you include the word blue apples. You can have any word there you want, anything you want. In the first line of your reply to this advert, any reply not including these words will be instantly deleted. Now, why am I doing that? Well, it's very simple. The reason I'm doing that is because I want to ensure that people are actually reading my advert and they can follow instructions. Because let's face it, if they can't do something as simple as that, then I've got no hope of them being able to build links for me. I really haven't. That ensures that A, they can understand English, B, they can follow directions, and C, they've actually bothered to read what I've put together here. So what you want to do is you want to talk about what you want. So let me just write out a couple of bits here for you. Okay, so here's what you want to write. You want to write something about what you're looking for. Describe what you're after them doing so that they can decide, is it a job they want to do. This is a job description. So I want people to do this, that and that, and I might add some other things in that I want them to do. This will include, and you could put a caveat in like amongst other things, and then no. So you can say that means you can do anything else. Then you want to think about the skills you want. Well, I want them to be able to read English and write it. I want them to be able to follow instructions. And then if you have anything particular, you might say access to SEO tools could be an advantage. Okay, so something like that in there. That's again telling them what skills you want, and for the people that are actually bothering to read it, they can then go, yes, I can do that, yes, yes, and they can try and apply. Okay, then what I tend to do is I also put something in like this. I basically want to be able to contact them when they're working. I don't want them working and I'm sitting there thinking, well, I can't speak to them, I have no idea what they want or what they're doing or how they are, and so on. And then at the end, I put something along the lines of that, where I basically say, I want to hear about how you are best suited for this job. The reason I do that is I want to be able to test their English. I want to see how they can write English, and I want to see what they feel they can give me. Now, that's a really, really easy way of doing it, because obviously you can then see, right, okay, this person, they've tried to write something and the English is terrible, they're not suitable for what I want. Or you may read it and think, yep, that's ideal what I want. You put some keywords in here. Search engine optimization. Oh, let's try search. Oh, right, search. Let's see what it comes up with. Doesn't come up with anything other than SEO. I know what else we can put in. Link building. We could put in backlinking. Things like that sort of thing. So you put in the sort of half a dozen skills that you want them to have, but I put that in as well as putting it in here. Then you think about what you want them to do. Do you want to? If it's something like developing a plugin or it's a piece of development work, I want the fixed price. I don't want them to charge me by the hour, because that's basically licensed to print money. I want them to tell me how much it would cost to make a plugin. But for something like this, where it's link building, it's an hourly job, because they're going to spend 40 hours or 30 hours, or whatever it might be a week, building links for me. So I want to pay by the hour. Now, one of the reasons I like Odesk rather than going direct is they have a work diary, which basically, whenever the person is working for you, they have to have this work diary running in the background of their computer. And every X amount of seconds, 10, 15 seconds at random, it takes a picture of their screen, so you can see what they're doing basically. And if say they're working for you, and you look at the screenshots and you see that they're reading a news or doing something completely different, then you know that they're not doing the work you want, and you can pull them up on it. So it's a great way of being able to track what they're doing, and you can check in on it and make sure that they're actually doing what you want them to do. Then further down here, you can pick how long do you want them for. Well, I'm looking for someone initially for 3 to 6 months. It could be permanent, and I might put that in here. I am looking for a 3-month trial, and should you be suitable for the role, then it will be permanent. Something like that. and that way people know that there's a permanent position there for them. How much time do you want? Full time. And then over here you can choose, do you want it independent or do you want to go through agencies? I would tend to uncheck the agencies because you will get hammered by people applying otherwise. You can change it to invitation only. So if you found a contractor, you worked with them before and you want to invite them, then you can click that. Advanced options, again, you can put some instructions, or you can specify rates, tests, locations, and so on here. So you can really say, well, I want someone that's at least got a 4-star rating. It means they're pretty good. Location, don't care. Hourly rate, you can leave that blank. You can look for some tests. You want people with a portfolio and so on, and then you post a job. It will then go live, and you will start getting people applying. Everyone will apply with their own rate, and I might even say state your hourly rate in your application. And that's quite interesting to put something like that in, because there's 2 options in Odesk for hourly rates. And what you'll see is when they set up a profile, they can put in their hourly rate, but when they bid for jobs, they can put in a lower rate. So quite often you can find that you can get people for a really, really good price. I mean, I had people for one of the jobs I posted for manual link building willing to work for like 80 cents an hour, and that's just a silly amount of money. So you can actually hire somebody, and it isn't too cheap. At $1 an hour, I think Odesk add about 11 cents onto it. So you're looking about $1.11, $1.12, something around that for if someone's coming in an hour at $1. So it's pretty good. So once you get all your jobs through, what you do is you open up each one. If I haven't got these words in the first line, you just click delete and you remove them. Don't even bother looking at them, because I can pretty much guarantee it's not going to work out and it's going to end badly. And if you do that, you will filter out 80-90% of the applications, which obviously means the ones that are left are going to be more the quality ones. They're going to be ones that you can work with, they can follow instructions, and have a reasonable command of English. A lot of times you get agencies applying for these, and they're applying on behalf of people who literally have no command of English. What I do is, once I've selected, shortlisted 4 or 5 applicants, however many it might be, I then interview them all on Skype. I don't want to speak to them voice to voice. I don't care what their spoken English is like. I'm not speaking to them in English, voice to voice. It's not spoken English. I want to know how they can write English. So I will always conduct the interview through Skype text chat. So I can talk to them. I can see how they respond to English, how they understand my questions. And that really gives me a good understanding of them as a person. I'll spend sort of 20 minutes interviewing them. I want to know a bit about them, their background, why are they on Odesk, what they feel they can do for this job, what skills they have, what experience they've got, things like that. And that gives me a good idea of if they're suitable for the job. And then from the sort of short list, I'll then pick one. And like I said, I'll initially do a trial of a month, 2 months, 3 months, something like that. Make sure they're working out. If they're not, then I'll offer it to one of the other ones. If they are, great, I've got them on board and it's going to go well for me. Then that's all it takes to it. But you've got to be careful. You will get the sob stories of people saying, "Oh, woe is me! I've got to have a job. Please give it to me." You're going to get those. But this is a business, and you've got to be practical. A lot of these people are out there. A lot of these people, this is their income. This is how they afford to live. Some of these people, they might have a full-time day job as well and do this in the evenings. I know a couple of people I've hired, they've had jobs and they've done this as well in their spare time. So you may sit there and go, well, paying somebody a couple of dollars an hour, that's criminal. But like I said, for a lot of these people, you've got to remember, that's a good wage. Some of these people are in countries where the average monthly wage is like less than $10. So, paying them even $1 an hour, that's $40 a week. They're rich. So you've got to think about that and weigh it up. But like I said, you've got to treat them well. They're not slave labour. They're real people. They have families. Some of them have children. They're trying to survive just like the rest of us. So, if you treat them well, they'll look after you. The last thing you want is to spend 3 months training them up, teaching them how to do all this link building, and then they jump ship and go somewhere else because they've got more skills. You want to make sure that as they improve, you put their wages up, pay them bonuses for good work, things like that, and what you find is you'll retain good staff. But don't be frightened. If someone's not working out, they're not doing the job, just let them go. You've got to be harsh, because it's your business at the end of the day. If you're paying somebody $80 a week to sit around, that's a waste of your money. You could keep that in your pocket. You will get occasions where they'll disappear and they've had a family problem. You've got to remember that in some of these countries, some villages, some towns, they just don't have internet access. And I must admit, my outsourcer at one stage did disappear for a week. His father was unwell, and where his father was, there was no internet access. But he did tell me beforehand. He sent me a message and said, really sorry, my father's been taken ill. I've got to go to him. Fair enough. Yep, off you go, no problems. And he didn't work for a week, but he didn't get paid for a week either, which is fair enough. But occasionally you will find that some will drop out and do nothing. But again, you don't pay them if they don't work. And if you find that it's just not working out, let them go and get somebody else on. There's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people on here, and you can find somebody really good very easily. And that's literally all you need to do to find somebody on Odesk. If you follow through these instructions, you'll get rid of 80 to 90% of your applications straight off, and you'll be left with the best ones. And they're the ones that you're going to want to review their applications, make sure it all stacks up, check the feedback that they've had from other people, and then obviously interview them on Skype, and if it works out, take them on. What you could also do, and this is something I have done on occasion, is I've said to sort of the 5 or 6 shortlisted people, I've said, right, I want a sample task, I want you to complete this task and see how you get on. And I give them instructions, I give them all the articles, pictures, whatever they need to do it, and make them go off and do it, and then I'll go and check it afterwards. So for example, I might say, right, I want you to create a Squidoo lens following these instructions with these articles and these pictures, and then I go and see how they've done the job. And if they've done it well, great, I'll bring them on. But if they haven't done it well, then I may well want to not hire them. So very easy to do, very simple, but that's how you find somebody here for link building. If you want to know more about how you use this for other things, just let me know and I'll be happy to help you out there. But that's how you find people for link building on Odesk.